Hello everyone, welcome to my channel if you are new here, and if you have been here before, welcome back. Today's video is all about Teri's Crafty Christmas 25, and I will be working with Julie's paper craft kit, which is called Christmas Time. But before I will get to all of that, I thought I would show you a couple of papers like Teri has kindly asked us all to do. So this is the second annual event she is hosting. We have over 40 collaborations. Oh my goodness, I can't even talk today. Let's see how this is going to go. And over 55 YouTube videos. There will be both giveaways on YouTube and Facebook, and of course weekly freebies and challenges. No matter where you want to go, you will find everything behind this link. It will have all the kits people are using, it will have all the prizes, all 3 of Teri's Facebook groups, everybody who is taking part in this collaboration on daily order, simply everything. I will put this link down below on the description so it's easy for you to find. So there will be challenges. I strongly recommend you to go to Sweet Pea Papers YouTube. It's definitely going to be on the link tree, which once again is down below. And watch the video from December 1st. All the information will be there. When this video will come out, it's going to be the 5th day on the collaboration or YouTube hop, so many people that come here would probably have heard all of this before, but I'm just trying to point out some of the main parts here and there. So definitely, if you are inspired by anything I do here today, go to Teri's Facebook groups, which are Sweet Pea Papers Junk Journals. The second one is Junk Journal Tutorials and More. And the third one is Junk Journal Tutorials and Paper Crafts. So those are all groups. And if you share your event makes or things you make with the freebies or challenge makes, anything like that, on her groups, you can take part in the event giveaways in the end. There's also a giveaway on her YouTube, which is Sweet Pea Papers, so go check that out as well. But like I said, she made a really good video about all of this on her own channel, so please go watch that. I'm trying to get my own part here done for the 5th and the 20th. So that's my main concern. And of course, I'm trying really hard not to forget to say anything I'm supposed to say here. But that Linktree link, that's the best source of inspiration. No matter what you're looking for, it's going to be there. I have already prepped all my materials. Like I said, the kit is called Christmas Time that I'm using here. I only used a small portion of it, and I did a flip through before I got all of these, and I will show you that next. I will do the rest of this video as a voiceover because I have 6 cards prepped here, and I'm trying to keep my video fairly short here. So, well, not too short. We are instructed to go over 20 minutes, so not too short. But, yeah, I'm probably going to speed some things up or cut something out, so I thought a voiceover would be the best option. Apart from the papers and some gold cardstock, mirror cardstock, I'm going to be using some embellishments. I have snowflakes, different styles in white. I have sequins and some flat back pearls in different colors, so we'll see what I'm ending up using, but I have it all here and ready to go. I hope you are ready to go as well, because now it's crafting time after the flip through. I will see you on the other side of that. So let's start with taking a look at the kit. It's from Julie's Papercraft, like I said. Here you can see the difference, because that bigger piece is the original size, but I decided to print all the pages by 2 sheets on 1 page. That just made the images a little bit smaller, which is perfect for the cards that I'm making. The kit is called Christmas Time, and I decided to use it because of the beautiful fussy cuts and also the color scheme. I really like the turquoise and reds together. I thought that was like perfect for my mindset right now. So that's why I picked this. We had so many beautiful kits to choose from that it was really hard, but for these kinds of things, I thought it was just a perfect option. Like I said, I didn't print the whole kit. I didn't print the embellishments or even the journal pages. I just took the background papers and the fussy cuts. I think I printed all of those both. For this first card, I'm taking that red background, and then I'm taking a smaller piece of turquoise grid paper to put my focal images on top of. I was using 160 GSM paper, which is not really sturdy. It's about twice of the thickness of regular copy paper, but still not something I would necessarily want to prop up with foam squares. However, the golden mirror cardstock that I'm using for all of my cards is really sturdy. So that's why when my turquoise layer was glued on top of that cardstock, I was able to take some 3D foam squares and use them to prop the center panel up. I also decided to use a strip of that golden cardstock on the back just to bring some more interest. There we go. I'm trying to somewhat center it, although I often try to put things a little bit towards the top like I did here, because sometimes I just get bored with centering everything, so I like to try different options. The designs I'm making here today are really beginner friendly and perfect for last minute Christmas cards. I used these golden flatback pearls pretty much for all of my cards today. It was just simple, beautiful, stunning pick that would go with anything. So there we go. And I think they're really easy to use with some liquid glue and my embellishment wand. For my second card, I'm using 2 candle images. Then I took this smaller piece of red grid paper and I'm gluing it on top of some turquoise paper. And once again, I wasn't really centering it. I wanted this one to be more towards the bottom. So definitely always fun to play around with placement. There we go. Almost done with gluing the first candle. And even with the candles, this one went a little bit towards the top of that red strip, and this one goes towards the bottom. So I just I think that's fun. Now I'm just putting that on top of my matting layer and then adding some embellishments. I think I did glue this on my card base first. So the day this comes out will be the 5th, and December 5 is actually my birthday. That's exactly why I specifically requested to get the 5th for my collaboration day. There we go. Just adding the embellishments. I'm an introvert, so I'm not really into parties or anything like that. So this is just my kind of celebration. I'm making cards this time around. Well, duh, obviously. But I will be back on the 20th, and then I will be making something else. Maybe some sort of a Christmas decor piece or something like that. Not sure yet, but I thought, because at that point we will be so close to Christmas already, but we are still, when you will be seeing this, on the beginning of December, and I thought somebody else other than me might also need some ideas for last minute Christmas cards. And if not, there's always next year. If you are not a person who wants to send out Christmas cards or holiday cards, you can also use these ideas to create some journal cards, or maybe tags even. I think they would work nicely for a bigger tag. I kept my designs quite simple. I also decided not to bring in any shape dies or anything like that. It's a printable kit that I'm using. I'm not sure if I mentioned that before. I think kind of. But so it's anybody all around the world would be able to access it. And I also used very little other materials. Here I'm just using a gel pen to draw lines so that the baubles that I added on top have somewhere to hang from. But yeah, definitely really beginner friendly, fast to make. I think I put all of these together in about 50 minutes. Looks like the end result or the length of the video will be about 29.5 minutes. That's what my editing program is telling me. So not too bad. But this process of me putting these together was sped up twice or 2 times. So yeah, I'm not really this fast, but it was still fast to put this together. Here I did something a little bit different and decided to put the flat back pearls on top of the fussy cut images rather than putting them around them like I usually do, or not usually but often. This is, I would like to say, my 4th card. Not entirely sure. I should have counted probably. But here my design was cutting a strip out of red piece of paper and gluing that on top of the turquoise panel. Then I took the rest, or the bigger piece of that red grid paper, and glued it a little bit more towards the bottom. I could have glued that all the way to the bottom line, but I chose to leave some turquoise showing. I just think that's kind of like another layer. It took me a while to get everything where I wanted it to be and get it glued down. I only had 3 elements, 3 fuzzy cut pieces here. But I don't know. I just didn't want there to be a gap in the middle. I wanted them to be a cluster and close to each other, so it took me a while to get there, and eventually I did. Here I'm just trying to check twice and glue once. Mistakes happen in crafting, of course. I have accepted that that is just a part of my journey. But yeah, of course I try to avoid them whenever I can. After putting all of these down, I still felt like the top side of the card looked a bit empty, so I took a few, 3 I think, different size snowflakes and used those. I'm sorry for the shaking of the camera all through this video. I hope it's not making you too nauseous. That's because my phone that I use for filming is propped to my desk. That's the only way I can prop it. But that also means that whenever I'm doing something on my desk, pretty much anything, it shakes. So I'm hoping it's not too noticeable or too noticeable. There we go, that's the last one of the snowflakes. Then I had momentarily lost my matting layer. And now I'm putting it on. I don't know how many of you are making last minute cards, but I think these would be fun to give for a friend or a relative, or I was even thinking like it would be fun to leave these in a grocery store or something, like for some random people to find over the holidays. I think that would be a nice surprise. Or just donate something or somewhere, or I don't know. There's so many options. I think these would be great for pretty much anybody or any age group. So just nice, simple, general cards. I didn't do it on this video, but I will probably end up using the same papers. Here is why I have 7 cards on the video, by the way, instead of 6 like I said in the beginning. I had accidentally put in 2 designs inside one card base when I was putting these mini kits for myself together. So that's where I decided that I actually had 2 together, which means I end up with 7 cards, but that's okay. So yeah, many of these background papers are on the plain side enough so that you can write on them. So I'm going to put panels of that inside the card. Maybe add some of the fuzzy cuts that I have left over from these cards inside as well. But I decided not to decorate the, inside of the card in this video. There we go. This is a really simple version, a great way to play with size, I think, because as you can see, I have the same image, the 3 bubbles. One set of them is smaller and the other one is bigger, so I put the smaller on the back and the bigger one on front to make it look like there's, well, it just brings perspective into this kind of looks like the smaller ones are actually hanging somewhere far away, because as you know, the further away from you something is, the smaller it looks. So that's just another aspect in any sort of creative project. This is actually the second time I'm doing this voiceover, because instead of saving it, I decided to delete it the first time. That was an accident, by the way. But I'm sorry if I'm saying things 2 times, probably even forgetting something. But yeah, that just happens. Here is a gnome card. I love the gnome. It's so cute. I have the red background panel for this one, but I took a small piece of turquoise grid paper and I put it a little bit more towards the top in this case. My original idea was to leave some of the turquoise paper showing from the bottom of that or under that strip, but I decided against it, and eventually I just put it where the panel ends, on top of the seam or the bottom line of it. Here I'm just building another scene. I love to build these settings or scenes in my cards. For example, for these cards, not everything that I used goes perfectly together theme wise. Like here, well, why not? Gnomes and presents do go pretty well together, right? But in some other cases, well, they're all Christmassy, and it's not a big deal if you don't have a perfect scene built. You can use your imagination. It's just Christmassy stuff. So that's another card front done, and I'm just gluing it on top of my matting layer. And I just realized I did not tell you who I am. So hi, I'm Salla. I'm the person behind Card Times Ahead. I am a crafter. I make junk journals, cards, folios, ATCs, you name it really. I just love different sorts of paper crafting. I live in Finland. That's why I have this funny accent. But I decided to start my channel in English simply because I love talking English, and many of my crafty friends are from other countries. That's the first gnome or second gnome card done. Yep. And here's my final one. I took a toy soldier, and this turquoise piece used to be a square that I cut from corner to corner to create 2 rectangles. No, triangles. And now I'm gluing it, or the 2 pieces, on opposite corners of my background piece. There we go, and I just think this creates a fun pattern. I did not really give you any measurements during this video. These are just ideas, and mainly I didn't measure. I was just looking at what sort of or what size of an background would suit a certain cluster or fussy cut bees. But my matting layer is about 5 millimeters or 1/4 of an inch, depending on where you are, smaller than my card base. And my card bases are all A6 size, which is the European standard, or I think it's pretty much standard anywhere else except for US. And it is pretty close for the American A2 size. There's not much of a difference. And then again my card fronts, or these pattern paper panels, they are another 5 millimeters or 1/4 of an inch smaller than my golden cardstock layer or the matting layer. So that's how I figured out my measurements. Really simple, really fast, really fancy. There we go. Last card is almost done. For the most part, I put the embellishments on last, but in this case I did it the other way around. So I'm just now putting all my layers together. It's fun how you can do things in so many different ways, isn't it? There we go. And after I get this glued and everything placed how I want it to be, that's my last card done. I hope you've had fun with this. I will show you everything that I made again in the end, so stay tuned for that. Alrighty, we've got our cards done. Despite of what I said, I promised 6, I made 7. That's because I had put 2 of those together, as you could see. Or as you saw. Let's take a look what these look like. Here's the first one. I really like this one. It's probably one of the most simplest ones, but I really like this. Then there are the candles with 3 flat back burls in a row. There we go. That's the third one. And the fourth one, he's just the cutest. Maybe not if you don't like the gnomes, but I think he's really cute. Here, I think this probably needs a golden sentiment here, so I will definitely add one later on. Here's that same gnome in a different size. And this is the 7th and the last card. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I hope this brought you some new ideas. I really enjoyed working with this kit. Thank you for watching, and I hope I will see you on the 20th the next time. Until then, enjoy the collaboration and let it bring you so many new crafty ideas. Bye for now.